Today, I'm going to be talking to us about our families, some of the things we pass through in our homes, especially the negative things that we pass through in our homes, how it affects our lives, how it affects our relationship with one another in our homes. There is this thing that is going on every now and then. I'm sure you all are aware of it. It happens in so many homes. More especially, it happens between people like us who are called and the ordinary person, in the way we deliver messages to people, which has caused a lot of problem for people. And I'm going to tell us what that message is all about. The problem here is how we deliver the message. Some of us don't deliver it the right way, and then it causes problems in different homes. But then when you look at it the other angle, you will see that that message is true, but the problem is how you package it, how you deliver it. So I'm going to be teaching us what causes the problem between parents and children, as it has to do with spiritual issues. I don't know if you've ever heard of people saying that a man of God or a woman of God told them that their mother or their father is the one behind their predicament, that your parents are the reason why you are not progressing, that your father is holding you down, your mother is holding you down. Some will go to the extent of telling people that your mother is a witch or your father is a witch. I've heard a lot about this. It causes a lot of problems. I'm not saying that the message is wrong. What is wrong in this message is how the deliverer delivered the message. That is what is wrong. You are not supposed to call someone's parents a witch or evil or whatsoever. Even if they are, it is left for the children to find out. But if God has decided to save someone's life or to save a man or a woman from the claws of the parents, let me put it this way, I'm going to teach you what that problem is, so that you'll be aware of it, in case if you are passing through something like that, and maybe you have gone to places like to churches or spiritual houses, and they tell you that your parents is the one behind what you are passing through. I'm going to teach you that. Now, it is not that your parents actually want your downfall. In case if you've ever received this message, it doesn't mean that your parents actually want your downfall. No. No mother, no father will give birth to a child and will want the child to become useless in the future. No parents does that. Our prayers are always for our children to grow higher than us, for them to become successful in life more than we are. That is the prayer of every good parent. I'm not saying that there are no bad parents. Yes, there are. But I'm talking about this particular message that is causing a lot of problem in homes. Now, your parents cannot wish you evil ordinarily. But at the same time, your parents can be that obstacle in your way of progress. You may not know about this, but it's true. It is 100% true. Your parents, your father or your mother, or even your sibling can be that obstacle in your way of progress. And how is this possible? Now, this is possible doesn't mean that your father or your mother will get up, go somewhere with your name or your picture to tie you to make sure that you will not succeed. No. They do this unconsciously, without knowing what they are doing. But then there is a force, and that force is always a negative force that drives their actions. And as that force is driving their actions, that force is equally controlling you. Now you're going to see such things in families where the parents are always in control of the children, in control of the affairs of the home. They don't care how old you are. They don't care if you have grown. They don't care if you can fend for yourself. As long as you are their child, you will remain under their control no matter your age. You are going to see such things in such homes. Such parents will want to still remain at the top even if they get older, they will still control you. They will still want to control you. They will still want you to be bowing to them. They will still want you to be taking orders from them. But ordinarily in life, as you are getting older, your children will have to rise. Your children will have to take control. Well, your children will take over and see to the affairs of everything. All they need to do is to notify you of their actions. But in such cases, these parents will still want to be in control of the children. And whenever they start that behavior, it's not something that they just start all of a sudden. From the time they give birth to you, that is when such thing starts. And before you know it, that negative force will possess that parent without the parents knowing it, without you, the child, knowing it. The parents, whatever he or she is still doing it for your own benefit, but at the same time, at the detriment of your happiness, your peace, your progress. And when these negative forces possesses your parents, you will find it difficult to become a full-grown man or a full-grown woman. Have you seen homes where you will see young guys and young girls who are of marriageable age, who are not even supposed to be staying with their parents, but at their age, they are still living in their parents' houses. They are still eating their parents' food. You don't have the right to cook on your own. You must eat from your mother's pot. You don't have the right to go out and come back late, or to go out and come back the following day. No, you must give them reason why you should go out. Some of them don't even have the right to go out at all. Have you seen these parents that whenever their children goes out, you just stepped out for a minute, they will call you on the phone for 30 times, just marking your footsteps, just to know what you are doing, where you are at the moment, when you are coming back, this, that. It is that negative force in them that is actually doing that. It's not that they want to ruin your life. That is where we are having problems. And that is why when the prayer people will see your problem, they don't know how to, they can't be telling you this cock and bull story. They'll just go straight to the point and tell you that your mother or your father is the one behind your predicament. And this has caused a lot of problem. But in the actual sense, your parents can be the reason why you are still where you are. But they are not aware of it. Now, how can you break this? You cannot break this by deliverance, by going to church for deliverance, no. Or by, what do I say, by praying from morning till night, no. You will have to break this by yourself. By yourself. And how can you break this? You will have to rebuke that force. You must rebuke the force. Rebuking the force doesn't mean insulting your parents. That is where a lot of people get it wrong. You want to break free from that force. You want to break free from that bondage. A lot of people go the wrong way. You see young guys beating their parents. You see young girls beating their parents. That is the wrong approach, which will attract nothing but curses upon yourself. You can still break free from such spirits, because these are negative spirits that has actually possessed your parents. You know, parents, because we are now parents, we have children, we are taking care of our children. We believe that we know everything. We believe that we are pure. We believe that we cannot be possessed because we have seen it all. No, nobody is above that. As long as you are a human being, an evil spirit can possess you at any time. It depends on how you open yourself, how you make yourself open to spirits around. Wherever you find yourself, you are not there alone. You don't need to see spirits, whether you believe it or not. A lot of people say that there is nothing like spirits, but I call it that they are just deceiving themselves, trying to make life appear so beautiful. Wherever you find yourself, there are spirits around, both negative and positive. Now, how you make yourself open determines the spirits that will possess you. How you make yourself open. Whenever you open up yourself to the negative aspect of life, you will attract nothing but negative spirits. And that is one thing that we will notice in these parents, because they always open themselves to the negative aspect of life. Every now and then you are thinking about your child. if your child goes out with other children, you will think that your child will die in a motor accident, your child will be shot, your child will be killed, your child will be drugged, your child will be raped, only your child. You keep on thinking about negative things that will happen to your child. Meanwhile, nothing of such is happening. And when such things develops into your head, that spirit will possess you. And in possessing you, you will now want to control your child, making sure that in their own words, they are trying to save their children. Meanwhile, you are now blocking the way of progress for your child. You will see a grown-up girl. A guy cannot visit her. Why? Because the father will not allow any guy come in. The mother will not allow any guy come in. She cannot go out on a date with any guy. I'm not talking about going out to sleep. I'm talking about just hanging out and coming back. No, she will not. Because the parents will think that she will go and sleep with the guy, or that she will be raped, or that she will be drugged, or that she will be killed. And then they will keep her at home in the name of grooming a homemade, brought-up girl. You keep her at home. She can't tell what is happening outside. She doesn't know what is happening outside. And then everything is bottling up in her head. To you, your child is normal. But when you speak with such ladies, you will notice that they are no longer normal. Sometimes they don't reason like ordinary people anymore. They don't behave like people anymore. When they go out, they are so scared because you have actually allowed them to be possessed by that same spirit. And that is why it looks as if some of our parents are evil. I don't believe that any parent can just choose to be evil over the children that he or she has brought into the world. No, but this is that problem. Making yourself open to only the negative aspect of life. That is the problem. Or as a parent, due to what you passed through in life when you were single, and then you decide to raise your children to shield them away from that thing that you have passed through, thereby caging them. And when these children decide to go for maybe any prayer or deliverance or whatever, the man of God or the woman of God they will meet will tell them that their parents are the one caging them. And then when you say this thing outside, people will now pounce on you, call all sorts of names, this and that. But in the actual sense, the parents are actually caging them without knowing that they are caging their children. And then in future, you will turn back to look at your village people, to look at your neighbor as the ones who are responsible for what your child is passing through. Meanwhile, you are the architect of what your children are passing through. So if you are a parent and you know that you grew up in an unconducive environment, that you never liked your lifestyle while growing up, never you raise your children with fear. Fear is the major reason for this. Fear. And you know fear is a negative spirit. Fear is a negative spirit. If you are going to work for God, you don't have any room for fear. You are not supposed to have any room for fear because you are going to be experiencing a lot of frightful things. You are going to be seeing so many things that will make you want to run away, and you don't have to entertain fear. And in this particular case, fear is the cause of that problem on the parent's side, not that they are actually the ones hijacking your progress. Because if you succeed in life, they will equally benefit. They are doing what they are doing in order to safeguard you without knowing that they are not safeguarding you. They are not. They are actually putting you in a cage and locking you up. You will see a grown-up man who is supposed to stay away from the parents, live away from the parents. No, that man will not do that. A grown-up man who is in his 30s and 40s, maybe you are working, you are earning a living, you don't want to go outside and live because you don't know how your parents will feel. You don't know if they will approve of it. You are waiting for your parents to tell you that the time has come for you to go out and live. Why? Because that man was raised up that way. The parents has put that fear in him that even in his 30s and his 40s, he cannot go and squat with a friend so that he doesn't make the parents unhappy. No, that is not life. That is not life. If you're a man and you are living that way, you will find it difficult to succeed in life. Yes. You will find it so difficult to succeed in life. Have you ever wondered why it looks as if children from poor background always makes it better? They become successful in life more than children who were raised up in a very comfortable environment. Have you ever wondered that? So many children who were raised up in the ghetto, because when you raise up a child in the ghetto, there is no room for fear, there is no room for favor, there is nothing like pampering. The parents will do their best for you, and then you hit the street and know what you are going to do. And in the future, when you see those children, they will become so successful in life. Why? Because their parents didn't cage them. Their parents didn't give room for that spirit of fear to hold them. Because when that spirit of fear possesses the parents in turn will possess you. And they will not give you that space. And you will find it difficult to forge ahead in life. That is why it looks as if those in the ghetto always make it in life more than those whose parents are wealthy, or those who are raised up in a very comfortable environment. So wherever if you notice that you are growing up in such an environment, in such a house, where you cannot go outside without telling your parents where you are going to, or you can't bring in visitors because they must question you. They would want to know everything about you. If you are growing up in such environments, you check your lifestyle, you will find it difficult achieving a lot of things. Yes, because there are certain things that you will want to purchase, even for yourself, but you don't know how to bring it inside the house because of your parents, because they will question you, and some of them will reject that thing which you have purchased. Even if you decide to make a legitimate means of income, to get all those things, they will still not believe you, because to them, you are not supposed to do anything on your own without consulting them. So if you are growing up in such environments, this is the problem. Your parents, whether they believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, are possessed by the spirit of fear. They are possessed. The spirit of fear is always a negative spirit. And in the course of trying to safeguard your life, trying to make sure that you don't fall into any danger, they will block your way of progress without knowing it. And tomorrow you keep on wandering from one church to another, from one spiritual house to another. You keep on fasting from morning till night without any positive result. You are the one that will break that bond. You have to break it. You must break that thing, that yoke. You need to break it. Breaking it is not fighting your parents. Breaking it is you standing up for yourself. If you are up to that age that you can fend for yourself and you are living this way, you have to break it. And let me tell you, breaking it at first will never be easy for you at all, because that spirit in your parents will make them feel that you are challenging them. They will see it as a challenge. And some of them can go to any extent for them to stop you. They can disown you. They can do whatever they like to you. But that is the only way you can break free from such spirits. And when you break free, you will see that there is no village person holding you down. There is no neighbor holding you down. There is no frenemy anywhere who is trying to lock you up. No. It is actually the spirit that has possessed your parents that is blocking your way. Parents we parents, I'm including myself, we never agree that we are at fault. We never agree. We find it difficult accepting that we are at fault. But you don't need to, when it comes to this stage, whether they listen to you or not, break yourself free. Your pastor will not set you free. You have to know that. A spiritualist cannot set you free from that. No matter, it's not a matter of being born again. It's not a matter of knowing how to pray very well. No. You are the one that can set yourself free. The key lies in your hands. It is not by insulting your parents at all. You trying to insult them, you are heaping curses on yourself the more. And how can you break yourself free? If you know that what you are doing is legitimate, and maybe you are supposed to be going out in the morning and coming back around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the night, and then they tell you to stop coming back by 8 or 9, that you are supposed to be coming back by 4 or 3, and you know that if you start coming back by 3 or 4, you will never succeed. don't take that their advice. Give them reasons why you are not supposed to come back by that 3 or 4. They will never buy that idea, but then it's not left for you to, believe what they're telling you. You know what you are doing, except you know that you are doing something that is not good. But once you know that you are doing the right thing, you don't have to be seeking their opinion every now and then, because as we age in life, this is just a natural occurrence right now. As we age in life, parents, we tend to, our memories tend to be reducing. We start having memory loss. You don't expect your parents to always detect how the home can be run. No. While growing up, when you people were still kids, that is when they have the right. But the moment all of you grows up and you become adults, now the authority lies in you people's hands. The authority lies in your shoulders. All you owe them now is to tell them your agenda, what you plan to do. You are not telling them that you are seeking their opinion. You are telling them, as long as you know that if you do that, you are going to do the right thing that the family will benefit from. You just notify them because they are still alive. You notify them because they are still your parents. And then you go ahead and do that. And while doing it, you are going to see how your doors will be opening. But we parents, sometimes, we always love to control our children. Let me tell us. You see this controlling children of a thing. Yes, I grew up in a family where my parents are strict parents. They are disciplinarians. My dad is, I don't know how to describe him. His own is the worst. He's a disciplinarian that I've never seen. His own is the worst because he gave birth to a lot of girls. And so he raised us up with a very strict and iron hand that you don't even have to look left, you don't have to look right. When you are walking along the road and a man whispers and waves at you, when you turn and see him, you pretend you don't know the man. You will never raise your hand. You will never wave at anybody. We were just brought up like zombies. Everybody stays inside the house. Nobody goes out. Nobody does anything. If he sees you with a man, you are gone. He will skin you alive. And we grew up that way. But then it got to a point we couldn't take it any longer. How can we get married if we are always in the house without mixing up with our age mates? How can we get married? How can we be successful in life? When we try to go out and see what we can do, he will give us the time to come back. And maybe when we come back by that time, the other, our age mates that we went out with will make it, they will succeed, they will be favored, and we will come back with nothing. Okay? We grew up that way. They raised us with fear. My mom in particular was the fear of dying, spirit of accidents. Don't go out with your friends. Motor will kill you. Don't go out with this person. You will die along the way. Don't do this. Don't do that. That was her own fear. And they raised us up that way. And then we grew up. We all got married. And I noticed that I started raising my children that same way. I started raising them that same way because I was trying to safeguard them according to how my parents raised me until I got the message, especially on my son, my first son, because my parents, they can flog very well. They can flog very well. And each and every one of us learned that so much. And so when I was raising my children, I flog. At any slightest mistake, I will flog you. And then one day, I got the message that I should stop flogging them anyhow to avoid answering someone who has killed her children, or to avoid these children getting older in future, becoming rebellious towards me. When I got that message, I was shocked. Then I didn't even know if I had any spiritual calling or not. I didn't know, but I just got that message one night. And I stopped. I asked for forgiveness. Yes, I called my children. They were so little that time. And I asked for forgiveness. I told them that I will only flog them when they don't tell me the truth about something. But I will no longer flog them the way I do. Okay? And I made up with them. And now I am the one benefiting because I reduced the way I was caging them. I just allowed them to flow. And at the same time, not keeping my eye away from them. All I do now is to give them advice, tell them what to do, and that's it. I will not stop them from doing what they want to do. If they make mistakes, they learn from that mistakes. And that is how you can make it in life. You cannot run away from mistakes. You cannot run away from mishaps. We learn from them. Okay, so if you find yourself in such homes, and maybe you've gone to prayer houses and they tell you that your parents are the ones behind your predicament, the ones caging you, that your father is a wizard, your mother is a witch, that message is conveyed in a wrong way. But the truth is that the spirit behind your parents is the one actually blocking your way of progress. Yes, because your parents allow that spirit to possess them. They allow the spirit to possess them. And once the spirit possesses your parents, those spirits will equally possess you and control you. And you see such people in such homes, you cannot say no to your parents. No. Their words are law. Whatsoever they say stands. No, whether that thing is good or bad, whether it's right or wrong, everybody must do that. Everybody must obey them. And you will notice that progress will be so far away from such homes. Yes, because you will be so afraid to go out and make it. If you go out and make it, you don't know what your parents will say. So please, if you are experiencing this, if you are experiencing these things that I just mentioned now, you are the one that will set yourself free. No matter how long your pastor prays for you, your pastor cannot set you free. No matter your fasting and prayer, this one is not a matter of prayer this time around. No. It's not a matter of prayer. It's a matter of using iron hand. You use iron hand. You break yourself. Break that bond. Break yourself free from that spirit. Set yourself free from that spirit. And in future, these parents will still be the ones to rejoice with you. They will still be the ones to talk about you, of how progressive and how successful you are in life. But if you tend to listen to everything that they say, well, maybe you are the lazy type. Let me put it this way, because I know there are a lot of people are just the lazy type, which they will always want somebody to affirm to whatever they want to do before they can do it. If they want to go to somewhere, they'll come and tell you that they want to go here. What do you say? Do I go? If you are behaving this way, your own case is totally different. I call that thing laziness. You actually do not want to do anything. So if you are living this way, or you find yourself in such homes, the power to set yourself free lies in your hands. My reason for giving us this teaching is because I've received so many text messages from parents, especially from those outside the country. Yes, some of them will tell me, my son is a drunkard. Please pray for me. Pray for him so that he will stop drinking. Some of them will tell me, my daughter ran away from home. She hasn't come back. Please pray for me. Pray. No. The power to do that lies in your hands. You. The power to do that lies in your hands. And you know, this type of upbringing, one of the disadvantages of this type of upbringing, especially for those outside the country, we Africans may not be experiencing this, as often as those outside the country, but those outside the country always experience this. It leads to suicide in the lives of these children when they cannot take it any longer, and they know that they cannot discuss anything with you because you will never agree to whatever they say. The only option that comes into their mind is to delete themselves, and that is still that same spirit that is still at work. It is still the same spirit that is still at work. When that spirit possesses the parents, and the parents cages the children, and the spirit is equally in control of the children, and before you know it, the children, because they cannot open up, they cannot talk anymore, they don't have anybody to confide in, they can't say out what they have in their mind, that ugly thoughts will not come in to delete themselves, because that is the only way they believe that they can set themselves free. But that is the worst thing that anybody can ever think of. That is the worst thing. You don't think of deleting yourself because of how your parents are treating you. No. The only option is for you to set yourself free. If it means you confronting your parents, you do that without using abusive words, without insulting them. You confront them. You tell them where they are going wrong. Because we parents, sometimes we feel we know all. We never accept that we are wrong. Tell them openly. Yes, they will never agree with you. But after that confrontation, they will have a deep thought about everything. The power to set yourself free lies in your hands. It's not in your parents' house, in your parents' hands. If you leave your parents, they will control you even if you get to the age of 90, and then getting to the age of 150, they will still be controlling you. So it is left for you to set yourself free. Break yourself from that spirit, and that spirit will flee from you. Once the spirit leaves you, your door of progress will open. Okay? Okay, so I saw some comments that I want to attend to. Okay, Yams, I'm so sorry you are in such a situation. I'm so sorry. I pray that you find a way out and solve your problem. Yes. So sorry you are experiencing this. So sorry. It's not something nice at all. It's not something nice. No. The issue of you getting scared whenever anybody travels is not advisable. Do you know why? Because you are putting your own health and your own life in danger. Yes. Even if something happens to anybody, you might even go before that person. So you allowing that spirit of fear to enter into you. Whenever somebody from your family is traveling, you get scared. You don't know if there'll be any good news or bad news. You are putting your life in danger. You are putting your health in danger. So remove that fear. When you hear that any member of your family has traveled or has gone somewhere or whatsoever, all you need to do is just to pray, say a prayer of success for that person. Leave the rest to God. That person's life is not in your hands. You don't even have the power to wage war against the forces of darkness that might come to fight that your sibling. Okay? So don't live in fear. Don't live in fear. It's not advisable at all. Dimitri, thank you so much. You are welcome. Thank you for joining us. Amen. I received that blessing. Fresh, good evening. You are welcome. So if you have any question to ask me, please write it down. I want you to write down your question, okay? I want you to write down your question. We have to talk about this because I know, I am 100% sure, and I know that God is interested in our homes, how we raise our children, how we are brought up, how we go about our business. It's not just all about our prayer lives, no. Our normal lifestyles, God is actually interested in it. When you are going wrong, that is why we have so many people around. When you are doing the wrong thing, God must surely send somebody to warn you, to tell you, do this way or do it that way. Because he's interested in how we live our lives. And these are the things that he's going to judge us with. It's not just about our spiritual life. It's not about our spiritual life. He's going to judge us about our personal lives, about how we live, how we help others, or how we did not help others. So if you have any question to ask, please write down your questions. And please help me to like this live. Just double tap your screen to like, okay? And click on that share button. Share this live for me. Share this live. It's very necessary. Share this live. Okay? Thank you, God's child. Thank you. God bless you. So I want us to learn something today. Please, whenever you receive such message that your mother is a witch, your father is a witch, please ponder it in your heart first of all. Ponder it in your heart. Don't go to confront your father or your mother telling them that you now know that they are the ones behind what you are passing through. They might be innocent. They don't know what is happening to you. They are the ones caging you, yes, because they didn't know that they are actually caging you. They thought that they are helping you out. They thought that they are kind of protecting you, okay? without knowing that that which they thought is protection upon you is actually a hindrance for you. The way people convey messages is what causes the problem. Even if you see the message for real, that the mother is a witch, that the father is a witch, you don't just open your mouth and say such things. They are delicate matters. They are delicate matters. All you need to do is tell God to open up the eyes of the family members, to use something as an example to show them what is actually going on in the home. It is left for the family members to discover who amongst them is actually that witch or that wizard. Instead of you telling them that this person is killing you, this person is killing you. Yes, I know that there are some times when we will want to find out who actually is behind what we are passing through. But when you get to know that person, that is where the problem starts, especially if that person is of your own blood. That is where the problem starts. So in case you are in a home where you are being controlled fully by your parents, don't think that they are the brains. Don't think that they meant harm for you. No, they actually meant well for you. But their manner of approach is wrong. It's totally wrong. And it is not something that you will run to your pastor to report so that your pastor... See, let me tell you, even if your pastor comes to your house to talk to your parents will still not listen to your pastor. You can even create an enmity between your pastor and your parents. You are the one that will set yourself free. You can do it without being violent, without being abusive. You can do it. You set yourself free. Set your record straight. Tell them you are grown. Tell them that you can now take care of yourself. And for you to do that, the first thing you need to do is to leave your parents' house. If you have gotten to that age that you can fend for yourself, the first way for you to break free from this spirit is to leave your parents' house. Find somewhere and live. Even if you can't pay for a house rent, squat with your friend until you are able to stand on your feet. If you continue to live inside that same house with your parents, eat the food that your mother cooks. No, you don't expect to have that right. You don't have that right at all. You will still be under their authority and their command. And when you try to rebel, they can chase you away. They can throw you out. So the first way for you to break free from this is to leave your parents' house. Move away, move out. Go to somewhere else and live. Let me tell you, you see parents always value their children that comes home to visit them more than the ones staying with them. It doesn't mean that they don't love those ones staying with them. No. They love those ones, but to them, you're still a little child. You are under their control, so there is no problem. You don't have any right. But for those ones that comes back home to see them, they value those ones. They will now see you as somebody. You can now be part of decision makers in the house. So if you want to be part of that decision makers without your parents being that witches and wizards in your life, move away from your parents' house. Move away so that you'll be able to stand on your feet, as a man or as a woman, so that they will not control you and control your affairs, okay? And so that nobody will tell you that your parents are killing you, okay? So if you have any question, you write it down. Let's talk about it. Write it down. If you have any question or if you have any experience so far, you write it down. And we have to curtail this trend of somebody deleting himself or herself because you can no longer take it. So many people believe that their parents don't love them because you are still in their house, you are still eating their food. If you want to go out, you collect transport money from them. Of course, when they give you transport money, they will detect the time for you. They will tell you to come back home before 6 p.m. You don't have to go against their orders because you are staying under their roof. So you must obey them. And for how long will you continue like this? For a man who is old enough to get married, for a woman who is old enough to be in somebody's house as a wife, everybody must not get married, but there are certain ages that when you get to in life, you move away from your parents so that you will have your freedom. So that you have your freedom. No parent wants his or her child to make mistakes in life, but then mistake is always there. And as long as you're a human being, you must make mistakes. But we learn from our mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. So you don't have to cage your children. You don't have to cage them. My reason for giving us this teaching, not just to teach us on this, but I actually got a message. I got a message 2 days ago, which I totally forgot. I just remembered the message some hours ago, and I decided to call the person and deliver the message to her. This is a woman who is so protective of her children. So protective. She doesn't want them to do this. She doesn't want them to do that. She just wants them to be around her. Okay? And now, the daughter is actually the one suffering. She doesn't want the daughter even to attend church programs. She doesn't want the daughter to be attending church programs. She doesn't want the daughter, like, whenever there is any birthday party and her friends invite her, she doesn't want her to attend. She just wants her to be by her side. More especially in the kitchen, do house chores, go out and buy things, but no social life. And the message came 2 days ago in the afternoon. And I was told to tell a particular lady to go and tell the woman, because I'm staying very far away from them, to tell her to reduce the way she is caging the daughter, to allow the daughter to attend the church programs that she wants to attend, even though not all the time, but that she should give her a free hand, that she's caging that daughter. And from the message that I was given, that in future, that she is going to see a rebel in the form of her daughter. And that is the worst nightmare for any parent. That somebody, a child that you gave birth to, you raise your child, and to you, you raise that child very well. You gave the child a home training, upbringing that is well deserving. And then in future, that child will turn out to be something else, something off that you can't even explain. That is the worst nightmare for every parent. And so that message came to tell that woman to reduce the way she is caging her daughter. Allow the daughter to attend the church programs that she wants to attend, but not all the time, because the daughter's help is actually needed at home. Allow her to be free. But this woman doesn't give the daughter that space at all. I actually witnessed that last year. I witnessed that, but I didn't say anything because I don't like putting my mouth into family matters that doesn't concern me. I witnessed the whole thing. As a matter of fact, I started feeling for the daughter. I started feeling for her. There is nothing like freedom for her. She finds it difficult mixing up with her mates. Why? Because the mother wants her all to herself, all around her. That was what I witnessed last year. And the message came 3 days ago to tell her to reduce the way she's caging her. Otherwise, she's going to see a rebel in future. And that was the reason why, after delivering the message, and I said to myself that I'm going to talk to us, and equally to correct this message that our parents are witches and wizards, to correct it. If there is any parent who is a witch or a wizard, I don't know. But I know that parents do cage their children in the name of protection, thereby causing harm for that children without knowing it. So that's my reason for bringing up this topic. If God, who is our Father, who is the Father of everything created, the creator of the whole world, if God, with all his powers and might, can give us the freedom, the right to choose between right and wrong, so why can't we follow his footsteps, since we call ourselves his children? We don't follow God's footsteps at all. God will not meddle in your affairs. In anything that you want to do in life, he will not meddle. He can only show you the way. But when you choose that you want to follow the other way, no problem. He will remain calm because he knows that you will still come back to him. And that is the God that we serve. He created everybody and he gave us that freedom. Do whatever you like. Judgment belongs to him. He knows how to judge and he knows what to judge us with. Do whatever you like. So him giving us that freedom doesn't mean that he doesn't love us. No, he loves us. But if he tries to cage us, then how can we discover who he is on our own? How can we experience that true love that is flowing from him? When you love somebody under the condition that the person has given you, you actually do not love that person. You are scared of that person, and you are ready to do anything that the person says or the person wants so that you don't provoke the person. That is not true love. That is not true love, and that is why God wants us to discover him on our own, to discover that love he has for us, to feel it, to experience it without pressure, without fear, without being caged. So let's use that same hand to raise our families. He's interested in our families, not just our spiritual lifestyles, not just we being in the church every now and then praying, not just we going from one spiritual house to another. No, he's interested in our lives as human beings. So if you still have any question to write, please you write it down. Steph, your question says, so God doesn't love us unconditionally. Your question is totally off from this teaching. So God doesn't love us unconditionally. Your question is totally off. That is why the Bible asks us this question. Shall we remain in sin that grace may abound? Steph, I am asking you that question. That God loves you unconditionally, does that give you the reason for you to remain in sin because his love is there for you? No. That love, as long as you are still in that sin, it will get to a point where you will no longer experience that love. So your question is totally off from tonight's teaching. God loves everybody. And that is why he gave us the freedom to choose between right and wrong, because he will be the judge. And when he judges you on the last day, and maybe you did something wrong and you expect him to applaud you, you are deceiving yourself. So I'm still waiting for your questions. If you have any question to ask, you write it down. Write down your questions if you have any, or if you have ever experienced something like that. Please, you are welcome, and thank you for joining us. If you have ever experienced anything of such, you can tell us your own experience. Favor, I don't understand your question. We are talking about raising families, and you are talking about, you said what does it mean when you ask for money to complete your money to buy fuel in the dream, and they gave you? Even though your question is off, Favor, but I will answer you this question. You are asking for money in the dream and you receive the money. Favor, if you receive cash in the money, you are going to lose something valuable in reality. If you receive cash in the dream, cash, someone gives you cash in the dream, you are going to lose something valuable in reality. But if you receive a check in the dream or an envelope in the dream, you are going to gain something in reality. So that's the explanation to your dream. Receiving cash in a dream is not good. To you, you may think it's good. But if you have ever received money, somebody puts money into your hand in the dream, no matter who that person is, in reality, you will not like what you will experience. In reality, when the time comes, you will not like it. That is why a lot of people experience, you see somebody who is into business, and before you know it, you buy your goods, and then you will not, when you sell it, you won't make gain. You can't even get your capital, the whole capital. You sell below the cost price. These are one of the things that causes it. When you receive money in the dream, someone puts money into your hand. In reality, it doesn't mean that somebody will give you money. No. Even if you receive money from somebody in reality, that money can go into something else that it is not meant for. That is, you receive money in the dream, and then in reality, somebody comes to give you money. That money can go into hospital as hospital bill, or to go and buy drugs. That's into something that you didn't bargain for. And before you know it, the whole money will vanish. That is what your dream is. Okay, so more questions. More questions. More questions. Please, don't mind the noise at the background, okay? I'm not even in town. I'm not in town. I traveled, and this is a hotel room. I'm sure you'll be hearing noises here and there. Thank you, Favor. You are welcome. So write down your questions. If you have any question, write down your questions. If you have any question to ask, you write it down. I'm still waiting for your questions, but if you don't have any other question to ask, then I will end this live. I will come up tomorrow night. Yes, when I'm done with what I have, I'll come up tomorrow night. Somebody actually requested that I give a teaching. I've forgotten on what she told me, but I know I'm going to remember it by tomorrow. So when I go back to her request, I'm going to give us that teaching on what she requested for, and it's very important, something very important about a spiritual product. Okay, so I'm going to give us that teaching on that spiritual stuff tomorrow. I'm going to see us tomorrow around maybe 6 or 6:30 p.m. Okay, so when I come tomorrow evening, we're going to discuss a lot about, this time around, not about our families. We're going to talk about spiritual things, on how to use them, when to use them, where to use them, and the effects we will get from these spiritual things. Okay, so I'm going to see us tomorrow, and until then, God bless you all. Have a lovely night.